In this video, you're going to learn a tune called St James Infirmary on guitar. I'm going to walk you through a super simple arrangement that's easy to play and sounds great. Hi, this is Simon Candy from Acoustic Guitar Lessons Online.net, and in today's lesson, you're going to learn a great little tune called St James Infirmary. Now, this is one of those songs that has been covered by many people before. It's an 8-bar blues in the key of A minor, and it's a great piece to pull out of the bag, if you like, to showcase your skills when someone asks you that dreaded question, play me something on the guitar. Well, this is something that you could play them. This arrangement of St James Infirmary is made up of 2 choruses. So that is 2 repetitions of the chord progression. And the first chorus, we are putting the melody with the chords. Now that might sound tricky to do, playing both chords and melody at the same time. However, the arrangement I've created here is actually quite simple, and I'll be walking you through it, so stick with me, you'll be fine. The second chorus is actually going to simplify things even further. You'll see the approach we take there is a little bit different, and we bring in some variation to the melody itself so that the arrangement develops. So both choruses go together to create a really cool arrangement of St James Infirmary. So let's get into it. So before we get into today's arrangement, let's just touch on the basic makeup of this tune, because if you're going to create it or learn an arrangement or create your own arrangement of a piece, you want to know the chords and the melody really well separately, and then how they relate to each other. Kind of sounds obvious, but a lot of people bypass this and just learn these complicated arrangements and don't really, even if they get the arrangement down, they don't really understand what's going on, and that makes it very hard to retain the arrangement and to really be able to play it freely. With St James Infirmary, we've got the chords. It's an 8-bar blues in A minor, and we've got the half bar on A minor, then E7 for half, and then A minor for a bar. 3, 4, then A minor, F comes in, C, and E7. That's the first 4 bars, and then we return to A minor, E7, A minor, and then we can put a G in the bass of the A minor there. Sometimes someone might play a G chord there. There's going to be variations with the chord progression. I tend to typically put the G in the bass, then F, E7, and then the A minor and E7, which turns it back around to the start again. Okay, so they're the chords in St James Infirmary, and the melody that we're hearing and that we're going to eventually put with the chords here goes. So that's the first 2 bars, the first melodic phrase there, that takes up the first 2 bars, and then it kind of repeats. Okay, and then that's where the end of the first 4 bars is, and we're moving into the second 4 here. You repeat the first melody here, I think. And then the last phrase, and then that's where the E7 comes in, and you're back to the start again. So there's 4 phrases there, right? You've got the first one, little break, and then slight difference there with the phrase that time, then back to the first one, and then the last. Typical blues phrasing there for a vocal. Okay, so familiarize yourself with the melody and the chords, because it's going to make it much easier when we get into our arrangement. The first chorus we're going to have a listen to first, so that you can hear how it sounds overall. Then we'll come back and we'll break it down. So have a listen. So the first chorus here is pretty simple. I know it might sound kind of, it could look difficult to do, and I can appreciate that. And if nothing is a challenge for you, you're not going to get better, right? So I'm not saying this is just going to jump into your fingers. Nothing does. Nothing that's worth learning does. It takes patience, and it takes time. So we've got the melody. There's a little pickup here before we get to the first chord. And then we've got the E7 and the A minor. And I'm just arpeggiating down the chord there. So really stripped back, you've got the melody and then E7 to the A minor. I'm just sort of filling it out a little bit. More really here. Fill out that bar a little bit, and then there's a little pause before the melody repeats, and this is the F and the C to the E7. So here we've got the same little leading notes, A minor, and this is where it changes. So this little part is over the F chord, so I can form a little F chord there. You could do the full bar chord, but the small F chord's enough. And then we go to our C, and then there's our E7. Then we're repeating, and this is where the G comes into the bass, and we've got a little bit of a melody there that's going to lead into the next part. So we've got just leading into the fifth bar here. We've got the A minor, and then when you're doing these sorts of things, you want to make sure you're aware of which notes are the melody notes, so that right now it's not going to be so much of a priority, but you will want to kind of emphasize those and have them stand out a little bit so they can kind of separate from the chords that you're playing. So, you know, for example, the part I just played, that's melody. So is that, and there. So you got that. Okay, but all the rest around it, you know, sort of accompaniment or the harmony that is harmonizing the melody there. Okay, so really hear for the melody. That's why just before I said really know the melody and the chords separately. That's going to help a lot. So just one more time, that last phrase. Here we are. That's the little G in the bass of the A minor, which actually becomes an A minor 7 because you're taking your third finger away but keeping the first and second fingers on, so your third can go and play the G in the bass. And then you've got a little pickup there to get you into the next part. And here's the melody on the F. Now I'm playing my F with my thumb. If you wanted to just use the small F there and not put the thumb there, you could. That'd be perfectly fine. So I know a lot of people have trouble with the thumb over the top. It can feel awkward at first. It might not be your thing. That's okay. If that's the case, use the smaller F there. So you'd be coming out of the A minor. Sounds perfectly fine. So don't worry about the thumb if it's not your thing. So then you've got E7 and to the turnaround to go into the second chorus that we'll get to shortly. Just there again from the A minor with the G in the bass, F, small, or the small little shape, or your thumb like I'm doing. You got melody, 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 and then we're just filling out here. And I like to put in an an E7 augmented chord there, or E7 sharp 5. And my first finger, while it's playing the G sharp on the third string, it's also playing the C on the second string. And I run up the chord, thumb, thumb, index, middle, index. Now, you can just play a normal E7 chord there if you want. So do take some liberties if you want. If you don't like the augmented sound or it's difficult for you to play a normal E7, that'll be perfectly fine. If you don't like the F with the thumb over the top, play the small F. That will be fine. You can make adjustments here. In terms of my fingers, don't get too obsessed over which finger plays which string. The thumb is going to play the lower bass notes. And then, you can kind of decide for yourself. You might want to try and see what I'm doing here. But honestly, I think for the most part, so I've got to play through to think what I'm doing. But my thumb is playing the lower three strings for the most part. Index, middle, and ring are playing the top three strings respectively. Index on the third string, middle on the second string, ring finger on the first string. You can kind of switch those over a little bit. Sometimes you might want to use your middle finger on the top string. Sometimes the index might play a note on the lower string or the fourth string or something like that. So there's going to be, it's not going to be an exact science here, but that's the basic sort of approach there, as is often the case with finger picking. So that's the first chorus. Take it very, very slowly. Take your time, and then we'll get into the next chorus. So let's have a listen to chorus 2 of our arrangement of St James Infirmary, then we'll come back and we'll break it down. So chorus 2 takes a little bit of a different approach, and you might actually find this a little easier to do than the first chorus, mainly because we're not holding big chord shapes, full chord shapes for the most part. Okay, you'll notice that the chord progression here is largely made up of A minor and E7. Okay, there's an F and a C in there, but most of it's A minor, E7, and we have a low A and a low E string. So we can let those notes ring out while we're playing the melody to imply the harmony. Okay, and that's enough to create a nice arrangement. Also, what happens in this chorus is we vary the melody a little bit. Okay, if you listen to various arrangements of this tune, and there are many different people's interpretations, you'll see a lot of things done with the melody. You still recognize the melody, we're not rewriting it, but you just create variations of it, and this helps our arrangement here develop a little bit. Here, I'm coming in with the melody there, but instead of holding an A minor shape, I'm just going to play the open A string, and then I end up on an A minor chord there in the second bar. But notice once I play that A string, that's implying the A minor, and then I'm playing melody. But I'm just sort of playing around with the melody a little bit there rhythmically. Okay, so it goes. Okay, I also come back in with the A in between the melody a little bit. You could do that, or you could leave it. So I just hit the A string once there. Or you could go something like this. Hit it again, and again. Okay, I didn't play it in time then, I was just showing you where I was repeating the A string. But in time, so you can please yourself there, okay? Keep it simple. Then, now here, I'm not actually even playing the C or the F chord. This is an A minor blues, and you can leave the C and the F chord out to strip it back to a real basic A minor blues. Okay, and that's what I've done there. So picking up from the second bar into the third, A minor, little variation on the melody there compared to the original, and then here's that E7 augmented chord again. Or you can just play an E7 chord there. Okay, so the first 8 bars of the tune of the second chorus here. And then into the second 8 bars, similar thing here, in fact the same. And here's the A minor with the G. So in that, moving into the second 8 bars here, it did the same thing with the low A string implying the A minor chord. Same thing with the melody, putting in that little rhythmic variation. And then here's the A minor with the G in the bass, the F. Again, if you aren't comfortable with the thumb, just do the small F. And then on the E7, I like to use a little rhythmic fill there. That's a little rhythm fill or a chord fill that you can often put in between the chord progressions and vocal phrases of a tune. So in that case, from the F, I play the low E string, so that's enough to imply the E chord there. And then I do a little bluesy fill there before returning to A minor, and there's the augmented 7, or if you like once more, you can just do the E7 there, okay? So that's the second chorus, and when you put the two together, they sound really nice. So let me play that for you now together, so you can hear one chorus run into the second chorus, so you can hear the full arrangement of the St James Infirmary. If you like this lesson, then you'll love this free ebook audio I've created for you called How to Play the Chords and Melody of a Tune at the Same Time on One Guitar in 5 Easy Steps. In this ebook, you learn a number of ways to create your own chord melody arrangements on guitar step by step, including the importance of the key you choose when arranging a tune. The key matters because some will be more friendly than others when it comes to creating your arrangements, making life that much easier for you as a result. You also learn how to use more interesting and varied chords to broaden the scope and sound of your arrangements, in addition to proven methods and strategies for playing and creating chord melody pieces. So click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook audio, How to Play the Chords and Melody of a Tune at the Same Time on One Guitar in 5 Easy Steps. Let me know in the comments below what you would like me to cover regarding acoustic guitar in future videos. I love reading all your comments. I will reply to them as best I can, so don't be shy. Drop us a line below. If you like this video, then hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the all-important notification bell button so YouTube will tell you when I've released a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.